Welcome back to Pharaoh A New Era. I'm here with some big news. Just in case you missed it, I've already made a video before highlighting all of the differences between the original Pharaoh, which by the way is still available on GOG, and this new Pharaoh A New Era. I've also been playing the campaign mission by mission, and I will continue to do so, especially with this big news I'm going to share today. So anyway, don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the full playlist about this game and those videos I just mentioned. Since the launch of the game, a bit more than a month ago, some feedback has been shared and the team has been listening. For example, they will be reworking the military aspect. I know a lot of people are not a huge fan of what they've done there. They are also continuing to work on the map editor, so you'll be able to create your own map. All of this will be coming later, but today we have a big patch, so let's dive in. First thing first, there's a few new options both in gameplay, key binding, etc. For example, in the past you had to choose storage and granaries. The default to accept all or none was the same. Now you have two separate ones, which is really great because, for example, I love to say actually all for the granary but none for the storage, so we can do that. Similarly in key binding, there's a lot of new one at the bottom over here, so I need to find where I'm gonna put them. But for example, for the road, to remove things, to create some houses, some of the cool things that we do a lot, you can now bind them. But most of the big change are of course in-game, so let's dive in. The first one I want to show you is that now there is an option over here to uncap the zoom. So if you press yes, you will be able now in your game to unzoom as much as possible, basically see the whole map at once. This map wasn't huge, so you don't really see the difference, but for some of the maps that are really huge, this makes a huge difference. It is an option because obviously the more you see, the more performance will be affected, so you may not want that. The second change you probably see right away is we have now a minimap. The minimap has been reintroduced. This is, by the way, also clickable, right? So you can click the minimap. This will be linked also to your zoom, right? You can easily toggle the grid if you want, or the flat mode. So that's easy. You can of course hide this minimap if needed. But yeah, I know this is something that has been requested by a lot of people, so I wanted to make sure you knew that this is now available. We talked earlier about hotkeys. I think hotkeys are really important, and in particular I really love the hotkeys for the overseas and the overlays. But in the past there was something a bit annoying, which was you can click on a hotkey to get something. For example, over here, the overseas of the temple, I clicked on my number 2 on the pad, but then I had to click on escape to actually quit. Now I can click again on number 2 to get this out. So this is really good, especially also for the overlays. Then if you've played this game at all since the launch of the game, you probably saw that there was way too many god blessing. As soon as you started, you would get a lot of god blessing. Now they have changed that, they have made a lot of balancing changes. Another big balance change is around the city sentiment, where in the past, as soon as you had a bit of unemployment, your city sentiment was always terrible. You often had to put your taxes to 0 if you wanted to get people to join your city. Now they've rebalanced that and it should work a lot better. I will also post in the video description below the link to the full list of what has changed. As you can see, a lot around balancing, the rework of city sentiment, of religion, some UI, UX, a lot of the key binding as I mentioned, but that's not all. There's definitely a few other things, particular long list of bug fixes. So if you're still wondering if this game is worth it, you may have played the original, you may have never played this game, I would definitely suggest it. I think this game is amazing, and I really like that in the few weeks since released, they've already released a number of bug fixes, quality of life, that they're listening to the feedback, so we know that there's more to come. I really look forward to also hear your thoughts if you have requests. As I said, I will continue to do the mission of the campaign. I think there's 53 or something like this, so we have some way to go. But if you have requests for other videos, don't hesitate also to share with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.